Hello and welcome to Talkin' Baseball. I heard the All-Star rosters are out. Don't care. It's all JM season. Through June. Let's get it. Oh, no. Hello and welcome to Talkin' Baseball, presented to you by SeatGeek. Yes, SeatGeek. Code Talkin', you'll get $20 off your first purchase. Maybe it'll be at your local team's baseball game. Maybe it could be at one of the other 70,000 events that they do every single day. That's a lot. It's busy.
I don't know if is that a real number?
Yeah, we got to check the stats on that.
A lot.
That doesn't feel right. But it's impressive because they're SeatGeek. They know what they're doing. They're the geeks of seats. Maybe you'll see us out in Seattle, the great Pacific Northwest. I've never been. I'm excited to go out there. I think SeatGeek's doing some stuff with us for the Home Run Derby, so you should download SeatGeek. Code Talkin', $20 off your first purchase. There's a link in the description. Trevor Plouffe, we're running hot. You didn't miss me, it sounds like. People are still requesting Jolly. How are you?
Welcome to my world. Whenever Jolly fills in on baseball today, it's like, oh my gosh, Jolly's so good.
Yeah.
What about us, people? We've been doing this for so long. You're just over it? My goodness. Look, I am running hot today. I had a great day yesterday. Okay. An excellent 4th of July. Played some beersby, played some beer pong, ate some meat. What else can you ask for on this nation's Independence Day? It's a beautiful thing. I'm here to talk some ball. Yes, the All-Star game is here. Yes, you can go see us. Yes, you should buy tickets. I believe there's a few left. We're like running out.
Yeah.
It's going to be a big event at Optimism Brewing. But the main team that the big leaguers care about, we're about to decide right now.
There, per usual, Trev, are some tough ones that will get ugly.
Let me tell you something real quick.
Tell me it.
Olivia looked so hot yesterday.
Okay.
I just have to get that off my chest. I have to. I love my wife so much. She looked great yesterday.
I had one of those.
Incredible. Sorry.
You know, sometimes, don't mix life and work, they say. So, don't shit where you eat, things like that. I saw my Jessica's phone light up with a text message from Olivia Plouffe, and I said, you know what? I think we're in too deep. I think I'm out. I think I'm calling it. I think I got to hang up the jersey. It's too much.
It's too much. Sometimes it is too much with her. It just gets me going. Like, I'm fired up right now just thinking about it.
I'm fired up that you're fired up thinking about her yesterday on the 4th. Now I'm kind of thinking about Jess. I'm getting a little fired up. A lot of testosterone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm looking at the sheet right now. Bunch of boys full of T. High T levels.
Jolly coming in here with his stats and low T. Let's get into it.
Hold on. Give me the Joey Wendell voice with Jolly Olive.
Hey, welcome to Talkin' Baseball. I'm Joey Wendell. This is Jolly Olive, and here's a stat for you.
You sound like the guy from Rugrats, the redheaded one.
No, who doesn't?
Chucky.
Who doesn't need stats? Me and Bruce Bochy. Men
Tony La Russa.
That's not where we need to be.
And that's the episode. Let's get out of here.
That's the episode. Thanks everybody for tuning in. No, let's give out some, because I was excited because Trev, we dream about the full silver daisy. I think if you get the first 3 leading into the All-Star break, it's kind of like, whoa.
We're officially on Daisy Watch.
You want to announce who has a chance right now? I'll go through the lineup right now. Yandy Diaz won it in April and May.
Yeah.
Marcus Semien won it in April and May. Randy Arozarena has won it in April and May. Sean Murphy has won it in April and May. Luis Ariz has won it in April and May. Max Muncy, Ronald Acuna Jr., and Zach Gallen.
Muncy, that snake, he's out, I think.
7 or 8 dudes still have a shot.
Can I tell you who's not going to do it? Jorge Mateo. Got it in April. He's had some really tough months after. And
there has been a correction.
That's the all JM team. So let's get into it, Trev. You want to do AL or NL?
We're going to go AL, and we're starting with we're Cron Pod on the sheet. AL catchers are up first. This one, to me, there could be a little bit of a debate, but I think one guy probably has it. Do you want to start?
I will start. We're between the two fellas. It's Jonah Heim and Adley Rutschman. I mean, how are your big boy switch hitting catchers? I mean, pump that into my veins. Salvi's got the ding-dongs per usual. Big Dumper's always lumping around. But these two are head and shoulders. Neck. Hello.
Josh Young?
LSU. These two are heads and shoulders above the competition. Trev, you mentioned your lean, and I think I end up here too. And I don't want to start teasing some of the bad news for Birds fans because Adley Rutschman seemingly has a great argument. He's having basically a 2-WAR season. He's gotten on base a ton. He's an on-base guy, and he's played a couple more games than Jonah Heim. But Jonah Heim, it feels like just the slug is impactful. I think the defensive metrics like him a little more. Some of the stuff you don't love to get into normally, but RBI do matter at a certain point when you've driven in, 56 to 35, almost 20 more runs batted in from the catcher position. I don't know, Trev. I'm leaning Jonah. I was interested to see if I could be talked out of it, but I think you might be leaning the same way.
If we're going by the hitting stats, they're pretty close. You mentioned RBIs. I'll mention on-base percentage for Adley Rutschman. I mean, that's kind of his calling card. 52 walks to 48 strikeouts. Remember, this is through June, people. Okay,
right.
So there's been a couple of days in July here, so the stats won't always match up with the current.
Mhm.
Well, they just won't. I love that from anyone in the big leagues, but especially a catcher that can do that. Get on base right now through June, a 377 clip. Now I'm going on to Fangraphs right now to see, where we're sitting at with the defensive metrics, because I think these guys are close. You mentioned RBIs. I get it. Jonah Heim's been doing that. These guys, so Jonah Heim won it April. Adley won it in May. These guys are going to be going back and forth all year long, it seems like. I have Jonah Heim right now as defensive WAR as the best catcher in baseball on Fangraphs page. He's got 7 defensive run saves. Like the defensive metric WAR has him at 13. Next closest is Sean Murphy. Hello, catchers. Adley's doing all right. 0 defensive run saves, so that's not negatively impacting. I know there's more to it than just those stats and how you call a game and your frame percentage and all that stuff. So given that the offensive stats are similar, they lean Heim a little bit, but the defensive metrics definitely lean Heim. I'm going to go Jonah Heim for the selection.
I'm going to check one thing real quick.
I'm kind of around there too. The defensive metrics are liking Heim more this year. I don't think they're down on Adley, and last year they loved him. But and this is little bit of a silly way to do it, but they're very close. But technically, Jonah Heim's over an 800 OPS, and Adley's just below through June, and that doesn't not matter to me when the defense also likes that guy a little more.
So I even have the framing stats like Heim better. And how much do we care about that? I don't know. It means something, though. We're having to choose between these two guys. Right now has William Contreras at the top of that metric, Sean Murphy, and then Jonah Heim third. Adley Rutschman fifth, though. They're close.
For me, it's simple. It's close. Jonah Heim just had a nice June. 849 OPS. Adley was in the 6s. I went to look at their platoon splits because sometimes we hate a platooning king. If you're getting worked on one side of the plate, that can hamper your team. Both of them are doing it from both sides. Jonah Heim, right? He's 800 OPS from both sides. I think it's Jonah Heim in a sweep. I think Adley's
close sweep. All 3 games are close.
I would bet on Adley coming back. I think these two are the class right now, and big boys.
A checkered board daisy, going back and forth. Maybe that's something we could talk about.
Maybe they can get a matching orange and blue one. and celebrate each other at the AL catching position. They probably won't do that.
Yeah, maybe their bodies. Yeah.
What was that?
I think this next decision here, on the surface, we're going on to first baseman for the AL. Congratulations, Jonah Heim.
Congrats, Jonah.
He gave you snaps. I think from the surface, it looks kind of like a runaway, but we might have to talk about it a little bit. Right now, Yandy Diaz and what he's been able to do offensively kind of puts him head and shoulders above the rest of the guys at the first base position. Why does Nathaniel Lowe's WAR, his B WAR, match Yandy's? Is he a defensive whiz that I don't know about?
I think there's a couple things. He's not fully matching his B WAR, by the way. He's a couple points short, but
say B WAR again.
B WAR. The other thing that, Trev, you're leaving the door cracked for a conversation when I don't really think it is.
Yeah, I know. I tried.
It's Yandy Diaz Yandy got hurt for a little bit, so he's 10 games behind these guys. But Yandy Diaz has as many homers as Vlad Guerrero Jr. He's got more runs than the rest of the competition. The batting average, 316. On base, he's getting on base at over a 40% clip. So he's got everything. The OPS is in the 9s. The other guys are fighting to be low 8s. Like, I'm sorry, interested to see who our AL first base Gold Glove winner, and maybe Nate Lowe is going to sneak up on us, or, Vladdy. But it's Yandy, dude.
It is Yandy. He gets knocked a little bit. 524 innings at first base to Nathaniel Lowe's 746. So Yandy is DHing some. There's no good defensive first baseman, apparently, according to Fangraphs. They're all like negative defensive. It feels like guys.
Yeah. I don't think they're measuring it right. I'm trying to think who is
the nerds I've listened to and follow say that they just haven't figured out first base yet.
Who are our current slick fielding first base? Because the Yankees got Rizzo, and like he was kind of the king of it, and Rizzo's been good.
Yeah, Late Night Lamont is good.
Christian Walker.
He can play right now. Christian Walker's done well.
Okay.
Carlos Santana.
Ooh.
6 defensive runs saved at first base. That leads the league with Nathaniel Lowe.
And maybe.
But I agree with you. Yandy's offensive statistics are just better than everyone else's. And if you can do a 4 and a 5, 400 OBP, 500 slug, you're going to get my vote more often than not.
3, 4, 5 in it. Yandy gets the AL pedal for this month. And by the way, he is now 3 for 3. You mentioned it at the top. Yandy Diaz, Rays baseball. How many guys do you mention before you get to Yandy? We're trying to make it less.
We might have.
Could go pole to pole as the AL's best first baseman.
What do you think he looks like in the shower?
My God. He has 4 of my cocks.
He might have like a cushion month built in. Right now, the difference is crazy.
Me and Trevor running hot today. I don't know. We tried to tell you. If you thought first base was kind of a quick, easy decision, second base is even easier than that.
My good friend.
Marcus Semien, that's right. You guys go back to your Oakland Athletics days, right?
That's right. He's turned into just an incredible player. He was an incredible person. He's persevered through some things, found a nice home, found a big payday. Making a lot of money, that guy. But he's putting it up. He's backing it up.
You didn't know he was going to be a guy, huh?
No. I mean, not a lot of people
Nobody did. I mean, that's, I'm driving home that point a little bit. But
he worked his ass off. And I believe was he not with the White Sox first and then the A's?
Sox first.
White Sox first, then the A's. The glove was shaky. The throws were shaky, but he worked to, get that right. The hitting came around. The power showed up out of nowhere. And now look at him, man. He's running away with it. I believe he has all 3 months as well for second base. So congrats, Marcus Semien. Some of the numbers there, 344, 457 for an 801 OPS. He leads in B WAR with a 3.6 B WAR, 121 rated runs created plus. He's part of that Texas offense that hey, fight me if you want. They go toe-to-toe with the Braves, and all we talk about is the Braves.
Yeah.
Go look at the statistics, people. Like, they're there with them. And that's why they're at the top of the division still.
A lot of Rays, a lot of Rangers, a lot of Braves. A little shout out to, I don't know if he pops up on our UTIL section, a guy that popped up at second base as just one of the eligible candidates. Actually, two guys that have been filling in and moving around. Brandon Drury and Mauricio Dubon. Drury's been moving around for the Angels. He's starting to, his power numbers are there, 14 homers. Dubon, man, that guy is a fun watch, and he slaps it around the field too. Glaber's around too, but they are not in the same stratosphere as what Simeon's been doing this year. What was that look on your face, Trev?
I just didn't know why Glaber was on the sheet. No offense.
I didn't make this sheet.
I know Dalton. He put it on the sheet.
My boy Dalton.
I like Glaber. You know what? I like Glaber.
There's a clear next
I
tier
think
at
you'd
that
love
position.
Glaber.
I think I would too.
I think you'd love Glaber.
There's not many guys that I met that I hate. Some of them, if I hate you, I hate you.
Yeah.
Like, and you know I don't like you.
Like Glaber Torres goes over to the Rays and he has 4 necklaces and his OPS goes up 100 points.
I'm hoping for Max Kepler's sake. That's what happens.
The third base position, Trev. AL American League third base. You know something about this. You've played some AL third base. Why don't you tee it up, Big Hoss?
Well, you skipped over shortstop, but we can go to third base if you want.
I go numerically.
I
go numerically in my head.
Okay, so first month it was Matt Chapman who came out swinging, tapered down a little bit. That's fine. Josh Jung, that thick old neck, that thick boy, won it in May, and now
Diaz neck.
There's some competition here. There's some competition. Now, if you're looking, straight at the WAR statistics, you got Jose Ramirez kind of leading the way there. But as far as like regular offensive production, I mean, you can go a bunch of different ways here, man. Rafael Devers has 19 homers and 61 ribbies right now. Now, he doesn't get on base a lot. He's got a 312 OBP, but if you're just looking at those specific numbers, he leads the way there. Josh Jung has been very good offensively. He's got a 125 weighted runs created plus. I mean, if I'm looking at all of these together, and there's been some excellent ball played, Jose Ramirez just kind of stands out just above everybody. 520 slugging. Nobody else is in the fives there. He has the highest OPS of the guys that we have listed right here. He just kind of does it all, man. Like, he's just there. He's inevitable. Jose Ramirez, the steal of home he had against Aroldis Chapman is like a fucking all-timer, man. I love stuff like that. Seemingly, he kind of just pulls that out whenever he feels like people don't remember how good he is. He's a top 5 MVP candidate every single year. Whether he starts off slow or not, doesn't matter. The numbers are going to be there. I think that's kind of what's going on right now. So you kind of got to give it to Ramirez.
You mentioned this, a little bit of a roller coaster at third base so far. Thick neck Josh Jung had brought his whole damn neck into the equation. Devers' stat line is funky, man. What is that? Red Sox fans, is he like trying to hit homers? I'm very interested. He's always swung big, but he's such a natural, beautiful hitter that the stat line from Rafi, it's surprising to see it look like that. And then the other guy that, based purely on WAR, has an argument for second place, and obviously stats that come with that. Isaac Paredes from your Rays. Yes. What? Talk about another thick boy. My goodness. 13 homers. Another Rays like revitalization project. That's a wrong word for it. Just snagged him from the Tigers after they were like, oh, yeah, this guy was a big prospect, but he doesn't hit for us. Well, he's hitting for the Rays. All of that BS is because it is Jose Ramirez is back, Trev. He's a big part of the Guardians, why they're competing again for the AL Central. His June, .330 batting average, a .400 on base, and a .030 OPS with 4 stolen bases, including home plate in extras off of Aroldis Chapman.
A straight steal of home, which is awesome. The defensive metrics support this as well. He's positive in every single one you can think of. Right now, overall, Fangraphs has him as the 3rd best behind Ke'Bryan Hayes and Ryan McMahon, who's had a really good year defensively. Maybe we'll talk about him in the NL. So yeah, snaps for Jose. Now it's 3 different dudes at third base.
Oh,
congratulations.
Sounds like prom night. What? I skipped over shortstop. Trev. Accidental. Got both of you with that one. Lot of
just when I'm out on you.
Yeah,
you come back and you win me over with your humor.
I know.
Now I know what fucking just must feel like on a daily basis.
That's what the ladies like.
So sick of you. So sick of you. And then you crack a little one-liner and you bring us back in.
That's an off-air one. The shortstop position. Trev, you were an AL shortstop.
I was.
We have some guys here, and I think we have an. Oh my God, we have an interesting conversation.
This is tough.
This is one of the bigger.
So let's go back.
This was just a conversation for the All-Star game, which now your guy Wander is in.
Yes. Mateo, as we mentioned, won it in April. Love his game, but he's down a little bit.
I think he's
right
lost the
now.
game for the Orioles.
And then Wander Franco. Won it in May. So now on our sheet, we have some guys here. We have Bo Bichette, All-Star. Wander Franco, All-Star. Corey Seager, All-Star. Is Seager an All-Star? He is, right?
Yeah. He's starting, I think.
Yeah. Okay. Bobby Witt Jr. on this as well. He's probably not going to be in the conversation. Give him a few snaps, second year. Doing his thing. Eventually, we're going to be talking a lot about Bobby Witt.
23 steals. Crazy.
Yeah. Love watching him play, but it's the big boys here. Bichette, Seager, and Franco that we got to talk about. And if you're talking about WAR right now, Wander Franco is head and shoulders above these guys. Why do we keep saying head and shoulders?
Yeah, I'll stop. I started that today. I don't know
you
why.
Did that. So we have Wander Franco there. You're talking about some advanced offensive statistics, weighted runs created plus. We like using that one. It's pretty simple. Corey Seager's running away with it. 178 compared to 134 for Bo and 127 for Wander. The traditional stat lines also love Seager here. He's 1 dot in it. He's not 3, 4, 5 in it. He's 3, 4, 6 in it.
Yeah.
So there's a turn on factor there for me. Where I'm like, hey, Seager's kind of just doing it. Now, he doesn't steal bases like Wander does. Wander has 26 stolen bases to Corey Seager's 1. So there are some things to talk about. Offensively, Seager has been the guy. But that's not all the shortstop entails. Where are you leaning?
I mean, Bichette barely gets mentioned, hitting .316 with a .500 slugging. I don't want to skew your vote because I think this is the most open that we're going to see, or one of the most open we're going to see. Corey Seager is going to have to do it for another month for me.
He's behind on games.
Bichette and Franco. Bichette has 82 games. Franco has 78. Corey Seager's at 50 when this came in. So it's awesome. He's 1 dotting. He's out of this world. Cool. I mean, we're talking 30 games. That's a month. And if all of the other counting stats, which gets really tricky with stolen bases, right? Because that's not Seager's game. So home runs, RBI runs, Seager's right in the mix. And with a higher batting average, a higher everything else. But those other counting stats are just important for me. And it's going to be, for this month, for me, it's going to be hard to ignore Wander Franco's 26 stolen bases. Because, we dream about OPSS plus, our stolen base stat sometimes. And I think if we had that in front of us, I think it'd be I think Franco's the winner. And I think with OPSS plus, it would be more of a runaway.
Some guy is doing that stat now, and he says it's partially inspired by stuff that we talked about, like
Partially.
I got a couple DMs from people saying that's just what WOBA is, and frankly, I can't refute that.
Yeah.
we want it more. We don't want it to be called a WOBA, bro.
WOBA's out.
WOBA's out.
OPSS plus.
Yeah, just let us do our thing.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm with Wander on this one as well. I agree with you on the amount of games played. Love what Seager's doing. Defensively, Wander is going off right now. He leads the big leagues at shortstop. According to Fangraphs and defensive WAR, everything is UZR 150s up. Defensive runs saved at 13. Nobody else has higher than 9. That's Dansby Swanson, by the way. Shout out.
Hello.
So he's doing it he's impacting the game in every single way you can. Even, sometimes he gets fired up.
Yeah.
A little too much. They send his ass home. Wake up call. It worked. Wander
Take the
Franco.
weekend off,
Congratulations.
Congrats, Wander. Yeah, 100th percentile, outs above average. I think in one more month we could be having a very, very, very interesting conversation. Seager stays around.
Watch if you're being a real baseball nerd today and you're with the right people and maybe you're at work and you're miserable that post 4th of July. Why are we here? Why are we doing this? Trevor Blue raises his hand. Go watch.
We're different.
Watch videos of Wander Franco hunting down balls in the air, like in foul territory or deep. Like he gets to deep left field, and it's like, oh, a lot of guys do not move like that.
Say deep left field again.
Deep left field. You played a little left, right, or only right?
I played every position except for center, pitcher, and catcher.
Would have loved to be in your head when you were out playing left field.
Didn't want to be there. Nope.
The ball will find you, kid.
Golly.
So,
all right, let's move on. Speaking of outfield.
That rounds out the infield, and the American League infield was brought to you by Shady Rays. You guys know Shady Rays. I've got my Shady Rays right here. I'll throw them on. Trev just threw his on. Beeps.
They're out there.
They're out there.
I wore them on the way in. I put them on my desk.
Shady Rays, they have taken over our company because they're a world-class product that is just as good as any of the brands you pay a lot of money for. Some of those brands, when you see famous people wearing them, and you're like, ooh, I wonder, that looks cool. How much is that? And then you click it, and you're like, oh, geez, nope, not getting those. When you click the Shady Rays prices, you'll say, I am getting those. And you get Shady Rays forever. Their lost and broken replacement guarantee means you have Sunnies forever. I replicated, big Carlos Santana episode. I replicated the Carlos Santana home run celebration. Glasses went flying off. Normally that happens and you hear a, huh? There was no panic because everyone knew they were my Shady Rays. If they got broken, which they didn't, still wearing them, I would have been fine. And go get yourself a pair, get yourself 2 pairs, or go get some pairs for you and your friends. Because with code Talkin, you will get 50% off 2+ pairs of premium polarized sunnies. Click the link in the description. Shady Rays, I think they're getting involved in some of our all-star stuff, and we have another big thing coming with them soon. So summer's here, Trev. It's hot.
It is hot. I love that you said they fell and you didn't gas, because everybody gasps when their sunglasses fall, or sometimes when you put them in your pocket with your keys and you're like, that's the dumbest thing I've ever done. Scratches for days, but Shady Rays will take care of that for you.
Yeah. Different.
Don't know how they're in business. I don't understand. It's too good of a deal.
Like just full 90s 4 a.m. TV. I don't know how they're doing this.
I'm being serious. What a great company
invest?
they are.
Speaking of some greats, Trev, the American League outfield has some all-time greats that are in discussion. Like you said, Randy is trying to run it. He's in the Derby, right?
Believe so.
He is in the Derby, yes.
He asked and he shall receive. He's also trying to stay all JM. We've had some injuries recently that I don't think that affects our decision making, but could it affect upcoming months? We've seen Kelnick on this list. We've seen Mike Trout. We've seen Kevin Kiermaier. We've seen Big Aaron Judge. He's been out. Trev, we normally start with center field because we require one. As you mentioned, one of the positions you did not play. It's tough to play out there. So
it's very difficult to play out there.
We need a center fielder. Obviously, there's a Texas Ranger on the list because their whole team just hits. Leody Taveras. It looks like it's going to come down to the all-timer versus the Puma, a guy we've called out. Luis Robert Jr. has entered the equation. He has the highest F WAR and B WAR on the sheet. And some of the other stats to back it up is our decision made, Trev?
I think he's our center fielder. I think we go with him. I think there's no doubt, the way he's been playing. He went into Anaheim, had a really good series right up against his counterpart, Mike Trout. He's just kind of doing everything right. And he's playing a really good defensive center field as well, which really means something to me. Like I want my guys in the outfield, especially in center field, to be able to do it all. And right now, Lou Bob's doing it all. So he has my vote for center field. Then we can talk about the other two selections. But for him, or for that, he's in.
That's huge. In my head, I thought there was going to be more of a convo with Trouter, and it was going to be a little controversial because do we just have some hamate stuff happening? Robert's he's one-dotted the past 2 months. I didn't realize that. And by the way, not that it matters for this episode, but he's off to a hot start in July too. Cuban Mike Trout beats out Mike Trout for the center field position.
This is where it gets interesting now because we have, I would say like 3 guys who are in contention for the 2 remaining spots. So we have Randy Arozarena.
Yes.
We have Aaron Judge and Mike Trout. Those are the guys that I'm looking at right now. And there's some other guys who are having really, really good years up until this point. A couple of Boston outfielders, Verdugo and Yoshida, deserve some love. What they've been able to do.
Adolis
our
Garcia.
Moonwalker. Adolis Garcia is doing really well. If you want to convince me some other names, you can. If you think you want to bring in Garcia to the discussion, I'm all about it. So I think the rest of these are pretty close.
I think Garcia deserves to be at the table. 20 homers has him at second to Luis Robert. 60 runs is the leader in the clubhouse, and 66 RBI, also the leader in the clubhouse. If anything, it's part of the discussion. I have to sort through it. I'm going to Seager Judge. I'm sorry. Aaron Judge has 49 games
That's significant.
Some of these guys are getting close to doubling Judge's games.
Okay, I'm in for that. I thought you were going to kill me if I didn't mention Judge in this because some of the counting stats are still there for him. But the games played means something to this team.
You need to be on the field. I think.
But here's the thing: is we've done that before, though. When Mike Trout was out last year, and his stats were just so good that he continued to win,
right,
until somebody took him over. But because there's so many guys around this level right now, I'm with you here.
Through June, this many guys doubling him up games wise. It's one thing to be behind on games, but Judge is getting lapped.
Judge has played 60% of the season, math pod. That's
and shrinking, by the way.
The guys that we all just said were borderline, Arozarena, Garcia, Trout, I would much rather have their 78, 80, or 81 games played compared to Judge's 49, however good they were. So Judge is going to have to be out for me.
Okay, so then Arozarena, Garcia, and Trout, we have to pick 2 of those guys.
Do any of the Sox deserve more love? Not necessarily.
I think they're just behind.
Yeah, Verdugo and Yoshida, they're on their own pace. Leody Taveras, what the hell, Texas? Make it stop. Whole team. Where are you at with Trout? He just got banged up, but I think it was in July.
It was in July.
That doesn't matter.
It doesn't affect this voting.
He would be the only other guy that we mentioned that's in the top 10 as far as outs above average. He's 10th. of all outfielders. So we've been taking that into account a lot. Some defensive metrics are not as bullish on him. Defensive run save. Let's see where he's at. That's like an easy one. Some people don't like that one, but it's easy to look it up. It's a counting stat.
Like certain
Mike
positions
Trout
are better
not
for it
even.
than
He's at
others.
0. He's at 0. Other people are above him there. Adolis Garcia ranks better in that than he does outs above average. So now I'm just confused. Holy.
This is
above
tough.
average loves Trout.
This is tough.
Okay.
Randy's getting on base at a 400 clip.
I think Adolis has to be in just because some of the old school stats. You mentioned he's second in homers to Luis Robert Jr., but first in runs, first in RBI. Yeah, base percentage at 330 is kind of hurting him compared to some of the other guys, but I'm in. A lot of extra base hits. Part of one of the better offenses in all of baseball. Let's give it to him. Adolis. That's one of my votes.
I think you're
Highest slug of any of these guys. It's close.
I think you're right. Only because. So all three of these guys are so close. That's why you can hear it in our voice that we're looking for any little number that might be an edge or a leg up.
I wanted to find arguments for Randy because he's in contention to full daisy this thing, but he gets caught stealing a lot, and the defensive numbers aren't liking what he's doing.
Adolis has a separator of the counting stats, which, again, some people are going to hate that, but at the end of the day, we're counting stats. Like, number 1 run, number 1 RBI, second in homers. I think of the remaining, he's got the highest slugging, and he does play good defense. So Adolis is in for me, and it's just a question of Randy or Trout, which is the best ever versus the best to ever do it, and I don't know.
This is a tough one. They're
know.
very similar. They're very similar. All of their stats. How about even plate appearances? 344 through June, 345. Randy's got 1 less than Mike Trout. So maybe we give it to Trout for that plate appearance. Just kidding. That's ridiculous. But they are that close in all of these statistics. Randy's got him in hits by 5. Trout's got him in doubles by 5. Tied with triples at 1 apiece. Nice. Trout's got 2 more homers than him, 2 more runs scored than him, but Rosarena has 15 more RBI than Mike Trout. So they're just back and forth, back and forth, back and forth.
2 more.
And when it's like that, I got to lean defense. So, I mean, even freaking the OPS, I mean, Randy has him in OPS. It's negligible, but he has them. 885 to 859.
I have a pit in my stomach.
401 OBP. We love that.
Because I shouldn't know this, but I know this. I know Trout is hurt. And Randy's going for a daisy, but that shouldn't be in my head.
No, that doesn't,
We've
that
taken
doesn't enter your
oaths.
head.
It's not even in my head then. I'm not thinking about it.
Mike Trout's hamate bone is intact. This is June. Let's say it on 3.
Oh.
We'd love to do that. Ready?
I'm not. Give me 1 second. Yeah. Yes.
Okay. 1, 2, 3.
Randy.
Rosarena.
Wow.
Wow.
Go do it, Randy.
I'd like to say one other thing. Maybe some team aspect came into that. I don't know, but I guess we are going to see Rangers, Rays, and Braves everywhere. The fact that Randy Rosarena is actually good is crazy.
Why?
Like, no, we saw him pop on the scene. This guy who'd played like 12 baseball games, and then he was in the playoffs and he was mauling like anything, like nothing we've ever seen before. Like, it just feels like in baseball, you see those happen, and you're like, oh boy, like baseball.
Every year there's like a guy.
Baseball's going to happen soon to this guy. No. Randy's gotten better. He's awesome. He's probably going to win the Derby. And he wins. And he stays. He stays in line for a silver daisy. So your AL outfield, Luis Robert, Adolis Garcia, and Randy Arozarena. I like that outfield. That outfield bangs.
Yes.
Holy cow. DH can be quick, Trev.
Yeah, you think?
I do.
There's one guy that's running away with it. He's running away with everything. It's Shohei Ohtani. Some of the numbers are just absolutely ridiculous. He is one dotting it. If he could get the OBP up just 4 more points, which he might already have in July, sitting at 396 through June. But the homers are there, the RBI are there, the runs are there, everything is there. This guy is world class. So snaps to Shohei Ohtani, you are DH.
Well deserved. He had a nice month, huh? 30 homers.
I think he has, and he added another one. He's got 31 before the break, and probably can have 35 if we are being serious before the break.
If he gets
break Judge's record.
If he gets on a Judge home run chase, just stop the sport. There's no need.
I just want to look at every single one of yous out there that was like, Judges, they're the same type of players. Like, no, bro, they're not. I love Aaron Judge, and I'm not talking crap about him. It's just this is Shohei Ohtani.
You're skewing the words a little bit. I didn't say same kind of player.
Whatever.
Hey, congrats to Shohei. Know what I would love? Your Dong working his way back. Love to see him get back in the mix a little bit.
And re-enter this conversation. By the way, outfield 3 Cuban ball players.
Yeah. Hell yes.
How about Adolis Garcia and Randy Arozarena were on the Memphis Redbirds that I played in AAA in 2018.
God, Cardinals fans, look out.
Patrick Wisdom also on that team.
Oh,
whoa!
A lot of guys. We've talked about it before, but I also just mentioned on Baseball Today. Anyways, utility position. This one's kind of easy too.
You tell us why, Trev.
Okay. So we have right now on our sheet Ezekiel Duran, Zach McKinstry, Whit Merrifield, and Luke Raley. Now, if you're looking at offensive statistics, you have Luke Raley and Ezekiel Duran, going back and forth, both in the 9s for their OPS, both slugging, doing it there. 12 homers for Zeke, 13 homers for Raley. The thing that's different for me is first base and corner outfield doesn't seem like utility a lot. It's difficult. I'm not saying that playing first base isn't difficult going to the outfield. They're two completely different things. But when you have Zeke going, playing games at short, games at left, games at second, he's got only 2 games at third, but he's also played first for a game. Like, he's kind of more of the traditional defensive utility player that you can really move everywhere. I like my utility players to be able to play middle infield. In my mind, that makes sense. It doesn't have to make sense for everybody else out there, but that's what I think of. When I think of a utility player, you got to at least be able to play shortstop or second base.
I think you, me, and John, BBD, we've danced around this topic. The utility position...
There's levels to it.
There's levels to it. The more util you can be, the better. And what Luke Raley is doing is nice. To be able to plug and play a right fielder, left fielder, or first baseman while having a 940 OPS, that's electric. Zeke Duran, I think he can go out and play any position on the field. So shout out to our guy Whit Merrifield, who's doing a little bit of a Raley, some second base and some corner outfield.
Made the All-Star team.
Second base is thin, man. Good for Whit getting back after it. Zach McKinstry, who's gotten a lot of shout-outs. His offensive numbers have started to come down. He has played a lot of positions. Zeke Duran, these Texas Rangers, look where he's played. Look how he's hitting. And a little kick to our guy K-Mac from... our blitzball stuff, and he's going to be in floorball coming up. Little teaser for that.
Oh my God, is he really?
K-Mac is, and he like plays. Trev.
He comes from a hockey background.
It's like his hobby.
You guys are in trouble.
You know,
someone's gonna get hurt.
Sometimes, you know, K-Mac is a little bit of a character. His Yankee scouting reports from his time in the minor leagues have been fairly spot on. This was the one I was the most skeptical about. He said Zeke Duran is going to be an all-star at some point, and it's gotten a lot closer than I ever thought it would. So shout out to K-Mac. Shout out to Zeke Duran, who's played shortstop, left field, second base, third base, even one-game appearances at first and right. A deserving, and I think what we want the utility position to ideally be, snaps to another Texas Ranger who's doing it.
Anyone else in their lineup goes out, he's just filling in. He'll go there for a month.
At an all-star level. Starting pitcher, Trev, I don't know.
It's going to be a tough one. April, we had Garrett Cole. May, we had Nathan Eovaldi. I have a lean here. A lot of these guys are very similar. I mean, they're having great years. Cole, Eovaldi, and Framber kind of, to me, are the guys that I'm looking at here.
No McClanahan for you.
I'm looking at McClanahan as well, but when I'm just going over the nums here, dude, like they're all, I don't know. It just seems like Framber has separated himself just a little bit in almost every category, or if he hasn't separated himself, he's right there as well. So he has 16 games started. Most of them have 16 or 17. That's just, you know, how many games has your team played? So that doesn't mean anything. Complete games and shutouts. He's right there with Garrett Cole and Eovaldi. Innings pitched, he's right there with everybody at 105. I mean, just everything that you can point to, he's kind of leading the way. Homers per 9, which I like for pitchers. He's leading the way there with these guys. Opponent's batting average, all these guys are right around the same, right around 210 to 230. Whip, they're all. So Eovaldi wins there with a 1 whip. Framber's got a 1.05. Like, it's just very, very close.
Trev, every number I'm looking at, because that I'm like, oh, I like this about Eovaldi, and then Framber's either right there, just behind, or a little ahead.
Yeah, it's very close with all of these guys. So this is going to be kind of like a preference type of pick for us. Like, who do you like seeing on the mound better? In my mind, I go to one game, one starter. Who do you want out there when it's this close? So I'll give you my pick because I like putting the pressure on you. I'm going Framber here. I just think like the walks per 9 is everything's there. I mean, they're all very similar. I just think in a one game situation, I trust Framber more than any of the other guys to keep the ball in the park and to give me a quality start because that's what Framber does.
Trev, some of the baseball modern age nerdier people that may listen to our show, that again, welcome, happy to have you. And this is where I want to compliment it. There may have been moments where you were cringing earlier hearing us talk about RBI and stats like that, which guess what? They still matter. They just matter less important than they used to. And that's good because back in the day, if we were doing this, if this was our 1998 radio show, we say it's McClanahan. He's 11-1, and the ERA plays too. We do have a lot more stats now. And man, something about Framber having one less start than McClanahan, but 9 more innings pitched. He beats him in ERA. This record's 7-6, and we don't care anymore. We figured that one out, people. Like, it's nice to have on your team that feeling of Garrett Cole being 8-1 or McClanahan being 11-1. Some of the far advanced numbers, they love Gossman. He's got the highest F4. Gossman, for me, I still think some of the numbers are off there, although he is striking everybody out. At the end of the day, I just need you to get guys out. And if you're getting guys out and you're keeping the ball in the ballpark and you're not walking people, I think you're right. As you tiptoe this line between Framber, Evaldi, Cole, Gossman, McClanahan, the guy that ends up towards the top the most, it's Framber Valdez. And I think that's why B-War, and F-War like him the most balanced. A lot of these other guys have one kind of skewed. Framber's there, and it's because every number is there. And I think it's Framber Valdez.
As the owner of Jimmy's Vote this month, some Jimmy Lytics on it, and looking at some game logs, Framber has allowed more than 3 runs twice this year, and Evaldi, I believe it's 3 times. So when it's that close, I don't know. Is that a tiebreaker? You got to nitpick at this point.
Sure.
And my vote's also Framber.
Our small glove king, does he still have that small glove, Trev?
I think it's gotten a little bit bigger.
It's gotten a little bit bigger. He listens. That rounds out the American League. Let's just jump into the NL, Trev. Let's get after it, because at catcher, we have someone who's been running it. Sean Murphy. And by the way, he's been running it with a closely contested guy who's one of your favorite players in baseball. And I think part of the reason he's one of your favorites is, for some reason, he just gets a little overshadowed. He's got a celebrity with the same name as him. He plays on the Dodgers, which it's easy to get overshadowed. Will Smith is having an unreal season. He's one of the best players in baseball. It seems like he's always after the comma in the sentence. Sean Murphy has been before the comma in the sentence. And if you want to go either way with it, I'll let you.
So Sean Murphy has won the first 2 months of the All-JM team. You're right. Will Smith is one of my favorite players. And, there's been talks about, the inability to throw out runners for the Dodgers. Most of that's on the pitchers, man.
Yes.
Like Will Smith still has the pop time to do it. So I don't even want to bring that in. He's also doing well defensively, which kind of, we were talking about before. Sean Murphy right now, second in the league behind Jonah Heim in Fangraphs defensive WAR. Will Smith, not too shabby, 6th in the league. Framing likes Sean Murphy as well, but defensive run save has Will Smith above Sean Murphy. So they're kind of, you can again go back and forth with these 2 guys. If you're asking me, you seem like you made up your mind on Sean Murphy.
I didn't say that.
And I'm looking at all of the statistics. Games played, 61 for Murphy, 60 for Will Smith. Murphy's got him in doubles. He's got him in hits. He's got him in homers. He's got him in RBI. Will Smith has 1 stolen base.
Want to know?
Sean Murphy's nothing. He is a 400 OBP guy, Will Smith, but Sean Murphy's 390. This is very close, but I think if you're really objectively looking at it, you got to go lean Sean Murphy here, and you got to give it to him by the slightest of margins, and he keeps his Silver Daisy run going.
It's a brutal loss
Yeah.
for Will Smith. It's because the Sean Murphy, Will Smith is almost the AL pitchers we just talked about, that every time you're looking for the hey, Will Smith has this and we need to talk about this, it's just not enough. You mentioned the on-base percentage, which is his win, 404 on base. 390 on base from Murph Dog. I mean, that's, end of the day, that's not a big gap, where the 556 slugging to the 507 slugging, that is significant. That is significant. That, 294 to 280. It's just, I wish there was more of a Will Smith argument. And if there was a person to have it, Trevor, he's kind of been your guy, but I don't think it's there. The
only thing I've got, I think my vote still would go Murphy, and there's a little bit of tie goes to the current pedal owner. But the only thing I've got for Will Smith that I think is real is the strikeout rates and walk rates offensively.
Yeah,
they are significant on both ends there. He is 5% better on the walk rate and almost 10% better on the strikeout rate. That's the only one I've got that's
they're so close.
That's really real. But the overall numbers and every individual category outside of those is so close, and the defense likes Murphy noticeably more. It's not crazy. It's not a crazy difference, but
I was about to talk about extra base hits. I'm like, okay, well, Sean's slugging. He's doing all these things. 28 extra base hits for him and 23 for Will Smith. So he's also close there. Shout out a couple guys, Patrick Bailey, because Giants fans are going to be like, what about our guy, Patrick Bailey?
You know, Patrick Bailey just had an historic month.
Not enough ABs for us, players. This is whole season stuff here.
After August,
June,
maybe
okay?
we'll talk about you.
Yeah.
Keep it going.
Remember that. So snaps for Sean Murphy.
I did like that Elias Diaz? Elias Diaz? How do you say it? I always get it wrong.
Now I gotta go.
I know. We gotta hit up Kelsey. How about 73 games back there? He's not one of the spring chickens at catcher either. Like he's been through a couple battles that I did love that with his still very impressive offensive stats, but Murphy and Smith are in a different world.
Elias
Lee. That's right. You hit the Lee. Hit that Lee. Congrats to Sean Murphy. The first base position, which is always just a mind fuck in and of itself. And as I peruse the stats, it looks more mind fucky than normal. Because I think Frederick Freeman, Paul Goldschmidt, Matt Olson, and Christian Walker all very much have arguments in their own right. Christian Walker, you might be a tier below that, but you just got your shout out. Don't look at the homers, Trev, because that'll screw up your whole thought process.
I think Freddie's got this one, guys. Like, I get you got to talk about what Goldie's done. He won it in April. Freddie Freeman won it last month. Freddie's just kind of doing it. He's 3, 4, 5 in it. He's got the highest OPS through June. He's got the highest F WAR. He's got the highest B WAR. He's got the highest weighted runs created plus. He's got 11 stolen bases, which is tops there. Which, gosh, I didn't even know he was doing that.
Freddie has 11 steals.
No, is this right?
Check.
I mean, look, I'm looking at a sheet. I know he can steal bags, but 11 stolen bases to one not stealing it.
New rules. He figured them out.
So now Olsen has him in homers and he's got him in RBI because he's driving in dudes. But Freddie also has 28 doubles to Matt Olson's 14. That's where the slug is about the same. And he slugs 543, and Olsen's got him, at a 572 clip, but the OBP's there. I'm leaning Freddie here, man.
Why does he have 11 steals?
Because he's a fucking
I think Freddie didn't learn these rules. He had 13 last year.
Francisco Lindor, 11 steals. Michael A. Taylor, 11 steals. Shohei Ohtani, 11 steals.
Got a hot wife. I mean, what else this guy got to do?
He's not leading in DMD, date my daughter. That would be Olsen, 28 homers. I hate that you're right. Freddie's sick.
He's sick.
He's the best.
Take the show over for 30 seconds. I'm voting for Freddie. You guys figure it out.
He's the best hitter in baseball. Yeah, we've all voted Freddie.
My vote's Freddie.
We'll snap without you.
He's kind of our dog.
He's the best hitter in baseball. The fact that Alonzo, Steer, and Lamont Wade can't even get shout-outs is crazy.
It's a deep position, man.
Congrats to Frederick Freeman. Although one good Goldie month, Matt Olson keeps on going at the pace he's going.
If he keeps his homer gap at this for another month or two,
Matt Olson might be able to put where's Matt Olson's homers?
28 at the end of June.
So he's still at 28. I was going to say, if he puts a 40 up there.
Hit 2 this weekend, 30 at the break.
Him and Shohei chasing the home run record. Let's go to second base, which has been another, hey, let's shout out 5 guys, but there's a guy who's going to win it, and he's going to win it again. Luis Arias has been running it at the National League second base position only because he's chasing even more rare history than the home run record at this point. I mean, it just got broken. I don't know. There's a way to...
I don't even know what that means, but What?
There's a way to phrase that in like a Buster only style that would have made sense, but I didn't do it.
Oh, I like that.
We're chasing history. Luis Ariz is still chasing 400. All of the hitting numbers are still through the roof. That being said, there are guys on his butt. Ozzy Albies is putting together a nice season. Tyro Estrada will not be ignored. And Ketel Marte, my goodness. Go Snakes, go. Ketel might be your second place finisher. He might have an argument for first place. I'm still an Ariz stan.
I think we still have to go with him here. The 442 on base to go along with the 390 is just, that's separating yourself, doing something to separate yourself. Even though some of the counting stats aren't going to like Ariz, he's not going to hit homers, he's not going to drive in a ton of runs. But what he's doing offensively is special. So I think he's going to have to really slump for somebody to take him over, or somebody's just going to have to really go off. But he's won it the first 2 months, and for me, he's going to win it again through June. Snaps.
He's still on the history pursuit, and yeah, if he's off that pace and drives down to like 350 one of these months, and sure, the defense isn't going to be in his favor, and the power isn't going to be in his favor, but right now it's still him.
Sometimes you got to keep it simple, stupid. He's leading in batting average, on-base percentage, and hits. That'll play. That'll play from the second base position. Come on, Ketel. Might as well go catch him. I'll go to third base because I went out of order last time, and I might as well play it cool. NL third base, which you've heard me go on rants about how awesome the third base position is in Major League Baseball, and this is a special era of third baseman. It has been a little messy along the way. And Max Muncy, remember he had that incredible April, everything he hit was a homer. We kind of regrettably gave him the next month. We gave him May, but it was like it felt like he didn't earn it, but nobody else did. He's not even on our board right now. The names Dalton has given us, Nolan Arenado, sure. Jamer Candelario, J.D. Davis, and still young-thick, mid-thick Austin Riley. What are you seeing, Trev?
I was expecting more out of the NL third baseman, to be honest with you. As we're looking at these numbers, I am a little bit underwhelmed, if you will. The highest OPS we have listed here is J.D. Davis at 818. Where's our 9 guys?
Yeah.
Are they off a third base? Like, what's going on here? If I'm looking here, yeah, Max Muncy's not on the sheet. Ryan McMahon gets an honorable mention for what he's doing defensively. Him and Key Brian Hayes, we kind of mentioned that earlier today on the show. They're doing it because that's what they do, especially Key Brian. What's up? I need to hang out with him.
Yeah.
You know I love defensive third basemen. Gosh, they're all very close. Arenado 807 OPS, Jamer 805 OPS, J.D. Davis 818, Austin Riley 796. So they're all right there.
Should Ryan McMahon be on this sheet? Does Dalton hate the Rockies?
What are the numbers? Give me some numbers.
So I have a couple July games in here, so I hope he hasn't gone nuts these past couple games. I don't think he has.
Now I'm going to look.
I don't have a crazy last couple games.
817 OPS. I see a 2.7 B WAR. He does it on both sides.
He was 828 at the end of June.
828 OPS, 350 on base, 478 slug, 20 doubles, 12 homers, 41 ribbies. And he's playing banner defense. What's the B WAR?
The last time I called Dalton in here, he almost had a panic attack, so I'm not doing it.
2.7 B WAR compared to the guys that we're looking at right now. He'd be second in the clubhouse next to Jamer. Call him in.
I can grab him. He did want to sit in on the conversation, and we got backed up here, so I didn't get to grab him.
Get Dalton.
We got about 14 minutes to get through the rest of this show, and he needs to get his ass in.
14 minutes.
Let's go to shortstop while we get him in, because this is an interesting. Oh gosh, hold on one second. Has he done enough? Shortstop is going to be a difficult conversation as well because we got this guy inserting himself into the conversation who hasn't played enough games.
Dalton.
Matt McClain. Okay, Dalton's here, guys.
That mic's on.
Hey, Dalt.
Hi, Jake. Hi, Trev.
Speak, friend, and enter.
We have a question.
I love questions.
No Ryan McMahon on the third base NL side. Can I ask your thoughts?
Yeah. McMahon, that's one of the weirder, funkier positions.
Sure is.
So on the list I had, correct me if I'm wrong, Arenado, Candelario, J.D. Davis, and who was the fourth person I had?
Austin Riley.
And Austin Riley. Okay. With McMahon, one of the biggest things. Now, I know strikeouts in baseball is a very common thing. His strikeout percentage, sometimes a conversation is different for one guy to another. Like a guy like Matt Olson is a very high strikeout guy as well, but he also has like 28 bombs.
Right.
Ryan McMahon, very high strikeout guy, has what, 15-ish home runs this season?
13.
He's had a good year. Don't get me wrong. I gave Candelario and Davis some bump. Candelario, I think, is first in WAR in NL third out of all NL third basemans. And I don't have my computer on me, so you got to tell me if I'm right or wrong.
No, you're all over it.
Okay. J.D. Davis is having a surgence of a year for the San Francisco Giants, third wild card team. Someone that I don't think anyone thought would be back to playing this caliber level. Arenado, I mean, we talk about the Cardinals and how bad they've been, and shockingly how bad they've been. But Arenado's still been Arenado. I know his WAR is a little bit lower than it's usually. His weighted
April's
runs
dragging him.
Yeah, and that's also because of April. Like, think about where he was in April to now, and his basic offensive numbers, the old volume, average, home runs, RBIs, runs, they're better than Ryan McMahon. And then you go to Austin Riley, first place Braves. He's starting to mash again, and I like Ryan McMahon. I've seen him a lot. I think my biggest thing holding Ryan McMahon back was the strikeouts compared to everybody else.
Okay.
Trev, who did you like McMahon over?
We just like McMahon because his offensive statistics are pretty much similar to a lot of these guys.
Yep.
Like close enough where you can talk about it, but defensively, according to FanGraphs, he's one step behind Ke'Bryan Hayes. Yeah. And pretty much every metric, he leads in defensive run saves at 13. Ke'Bryan Hayes has 10. Overall defensive WAR, he's at a 7 compared to Ke'Bryan Hayes at a 7.7. So he's doing it defensively. His UZR 150 is really good.
Really good.
I think he's leading third baseman in that as well. So we like to bring that into the fold here.
For sure.
I don't know what overall WAR says about these guys on F4. Do we have that for McMahon? I guess I could just click right here.
It should be on both. I know I don't have McMahon because he was my fifth guy. Like, on the sheet,
you gave him honorable mention.
Yeah, so he was literally the last guy off. I was really debating it between him. I will say one thing, in my opinion, when I do this, I think I should take more defensive fielding into account. I do lean offensive primarily,
sure.
And I think that's because, with a lot of us watching baseball, we see the baseball, the offense, and that's the fun in it. And the defensive side doesn't take as much into the fan account. So that's something I will improve on coming into future episodes for sure.
I have a 1.6 F WAR for him.
Canceled. Out.
And a 2.7 B WAR. How does that make any fucking sense?
Because they're making it up.
I always find it funny, the discrepancy between F WAR and B WAR. Like, there are some guys,
you could evaluate a player totally differently.
Yeah.
So for F WAR, that would put him behind Jamer, J.D. Davis, and Austin Riley, ahead of Nolan Arenado. His B WAR would only be behind Jamer, I believe. Now, Dalton's pick, now we know it's Jamer. Max Muncy's out. We have to pick a new third baseman. I say we just say something on 3.
I'm giving the numbers a double check. I have my pick.
I don't know if I fucking do.
it's funky. This one's a weird one. Yeah.
It's supposed to be one of the strongest positions.
Mm-hmm.
Historically,
All right, I'm
it has
ready.
been for
Ready.
us. I'm looking at one last. Okay, I have it.
1, 2, 3.
Jamer
Candelario.
Arenado. I think
I put
Jamer
Jamer.
Candelario just won his first pedal. And how about it? How about it? Thank you, Dolan. Sorry to scare you again.
No, I
We were
wasn't.
just curious.
I wasn't crapping
Tell it.
myself this time. Last time I was scared.
You were
shitless.
scared last
This time I was okay.
and I didn't like that.
Well, I'm going to keep you here real quick. You have Matt McClain
Oh,
as your shortstop, but he just hasn't played enough games.
I know,
Can't
and
give it
I
to him.
on the sheet. Listen, on the sheet, I have him in red and italics because I highlight that he has not played a lot. The one thing is like a lot of the shortstops, like somehow McLean's in comparison to these guys, and he's played
Been
way
balling.
less. And he's
Yeah.
been one of the guys. We talk about Ellie De La Cruz for the Reds in that offense. We talk about Spencer Steer. Matt McLean's got to get a little bit of love.
You know we talk about Matt.
Oh, I know you guys do.
You know we talk about Matt.
Don't. I know. Don't say that the Reds offense is functioning without Matt McLean.
A couple things here. One, let's give Jamer Candelario a little bit of love.
Yeah.
I think the Detroit Tigers didn't tender him, if I remember correctly, and then he
Yeah, things are
signs
non-tendered.
with the Nats, and he's doing this now. So good for him. And
He'll
this
be
is
an
a guy that
interesting name over the next month.
he led the AL in doubles in 2021. Trev, I know you're a big doubles guy, so
Love that.
And this
Defensively,
year,
he's doing well too, so I'm in for the pick.
and I think this year he's got 26 doubles, which is top 3 in the MLB, tops in
he's-
MLB. So he's been very good.
he's slapping it around. A little bit of Natitude love on the show. And that Dalton Feely segment was brought to you by the Farmer's Dog before we get to the shortstop and the outfield. Farmer's Dog, Noodle loves it. I had a couple people DM me this weekend because we just had our trivia show come out that had code names, and it has me enacting Noodle's emotions while he eats it. And a couple people reached out and were like, that's pretty intense, man. Well, Noodle's intense when he eats it. The Farmer's Dog, it's higher quality food for your pup, specifically for yours, based on their unique traditional needs. You fill out what kind of dog you have, younger, older, breed, all of that. They get you the right food for your dog, which allows them live a longer life, spend more time with your pup. That's what it's all about. Right now, at thefarmersdog.com/JohnBoy, get 50% off your first box. 50% off your first box of fresh dog food. Thefarmersdog.com/JohnBoy. 50%. That's a real deal. Trev, I know you're coming up against it over there. We are too. John Boy, he's having more babies every time I see him. The shortstop position, you guys teased it. Matt McClain is screaming up. I am in agreement that he hasn't played enough yet, but boy, is he coming up on Lindor, Perdomo, and Swanson. We've seen a lot of Lindor and Swanson pop up over these lists. We've seen Perdomo the whole year too, which he's been a little bit of a platoon situation. We haven't known what to do with that at the start. I think he's starting to play more as he's proven that he can hit against the other side as well. Trev, what's jumping off the page to you?
I thought this was going to be an easier discussion, but it's just not, because the shortstop position is so different where, I lean defensively heavy on it. If you can hit, great. But there is just a lot of different things going on. On our sheet, we have, like you mentioned, Lindor, Perdomo, Swanson. We honorable mention to Arcia, Bogarts, and Trey Turner. Trey Turner's not sure why he got an honorable mention, to be honest.
He'll be
Call
coming.
Dalton back in.
He'll be coming.
He's coming. Okay, I like that. Again, not a great offensive season for shortstops in the NL. McClain is doing his thing, but again, he's just not there yet for us. Love that for everybody. He's not there yet for us. So Perdomo has the highest OPS. Got the highest on base percentage at 388. I don't know, man. Swanson's leading in all the defensive metrics, so he has it there, but offensively, he's just not slugging. Lindor's got the most homers. You can go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. I'm looking for something that really separates, and I ain't finding it, Coach.
For me, I agree with everything you said, but I think I have my answer, and I don't know if we're overthinking it, and I think it was the same conversation last month, minus Matt McClain. I'd vote Dansby again. Like you said, the defensive metrics love Dansby. He won the Gold Glove. He passes the eye test. And the offensive numbers, you're right. The slugging isn't there, but he's getting on base at a 352 clip. The batting average, 264, that plays that what I'm looking for my shortstop. I'd love if one of these guys was standing out a little more. He's got Perdomo on 10 games, which you'd like to see more, but that's also a little deceptive because it's 100 at bats. Because I think that games isn't games started. Perdomo might be coming in later in the game.
I think he gets into every game he doesn't start at some point.
That Dansby Swanson has more than 100 more at bats against him, which again, shout out to Perdomo for even being in this conversation because he's been so good when he's out there. But for me, I want my shortstop out there. I want my shortstop to be able to pick it. Lindor and Swanson become the conversation there, and I lean Dansby.
I was going to honestly talk about Perdomo and kind of lean that way. You're kind of talking me into the games there.
There's some what each guy's asked to do in their lineup. Perdomo, I think when he does start, I don't think it's changed that he's mostly towards the bottom. Swanson's up in the top or middle of that Cubs lineup. The defense loves all three of those guys. I was preparing myself to make this Perdomo argument because I know the defense is there and his strikeout and walk numbers have an edge over the other guys, but I think my vote is leaning Dansby.
You guys convinced me. I'm going Dansby.
I wish it was prettier, Trev. I can hear the emotions in your voice. It feels like it should be easier, but it's just not. I will say, I think this will be the last time we can fend off Perdomo with those pure stats. He's been playing more, and towards the second half of June, he was getting some leadoff games. So you're right, and I agree with you, BBD. Like, at the start of the year, a lot of 7, 8, 9. If he's starting to lead off and do those things for the Snakes,
a month of numbers at the top of the order should close that AB disparity a bit.
Give me more Perdomo. So the infield is rounded out.
By the way, just while what the tone around the Mets has been, I couldn't believe Lindor's having this good a year.
Yeah, I mean it's a little funk. I mean 225 batting average. That's
not who he is.
I think in everyone's head, Lindor's like a 275 guy, but the power in the defense. So he could easily come and snag it at any point as well. Matt McClain, hello.
Looking ahead, Xander's off to a great start to July. He may re-enter next month.
The outfield position, I do think there are a couple layups that can be made. Coming off of the previous teams, we had Ronald Acuna Jr. He has been running it. Teaser, he will continue to. Martian Outman, wow. Forget about April sometimes. And then Mookie Betts and Corbin Carroll rounded it out last time. Trev, I'm going to ruin the way we normally do this. Ronald Acuna Jr. in. Don't compare how you're measuring it. 4.5 F4, 4.9 B WAR, 20 homers, and 37 stolen bases. He will be in one of the corners.
We're going to run into a problem here.
Okay.
Because yes, he's good. Snaps for Acuna. Great. We have to have a center fielder in there.
Yes.
Now you're saying one of Mookie Betts or Corbin Carroll's out. Because you can't get Corbin Carroll has played 26 games in center field, 44 in left field, and 21 in right. I'm not giving him a center field designation. I'm not.
Okay.
Can you? You can't do that, right?
Where's he been playing? Because this has been part of the conversation. Because
it's kind of a split.
He was currently designated as center field, which now would make things very complicated.
Very messy.
Last month he was our center fielder.
Did we not pay attention to that last month? And
no,
we just said, hey,
he's been mixing at all three outfield spots, I think.
In June, man, they play him all over. But In June, he played 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. He appeared in 10 games in center field in June.
Does that make him a center fielder?
I think he plays center field.
It sounds like after June, 10 games in center in June, I think he's more of a center fielder now than he was a month ago.
Do we even have a center fielder listed on this sheet right now?
The guys in blue have been designated as center
Brandon
fielder.
Nimmo is a center
Yes,
fielder.
I knew that.
Corbin Carroll plays center field regularly.
And I think it's been good.
I'm sorry that the Snakes are so cracked defensively that we call up young, hot Alec Thomas and we put him in center. Is that a sin? It's
For
hurting
our
you.
list, bro, we have standards here. Don't forego those standards because it's going to be a difficult decision.
Okay, so let me think about this. Corbin Carroll, he has currently played 26 games in center field. We're about halfway through the season, so he would only play 50 games in center. Then I guess I would not put him as my center fielder.
So that means we got to go TJ Friedel. Friedel?
I mean, I don't think Friedel's playing that much center.
Let's look into how much center he's played by games.
That's what I'm saying. We don't have a lot of center field options here.
Okay, he's playing center field.
Center field
57 games,
confirmed.
47 starts.
By games started, Carroll is 36 starts in left, 20 starts in right, 17 in center. Center
He's
is
out.
The lowest of those three.
He's out. So then it basically comes Nimmo or Friedel. Nimmo's been out there every day playing center field.
Holy shnikes. I was not expecting to have this conversation. I thought this was going to be very easy. I thought we are going to have to say Juan Soto, thanks, but no thanks. Fernando Tatis Jr., thanks, but no thanks. But now we're having this discussion where not only are those guys not going to make it, but one of Corbin Carroll or Mookie Betts, and I go ahead and look at those statistics next to each other. That's going to be a tough one. Now we're talking about Friedel and Nimmo.
God.
Friedel's got the stolen bases. He's got the average.
Dude.
He's got the OPS.
I have my answer.
Okay. Give it to me.
With everything that has just come to light in front of us here today, I've got a guy that's playing center field every goddamn day. And he's constantly are like, just missed. You played great, kid. I want a center fielder who's out there every day. And I want a center fielder who puts up numbers. And Brandon Nimmo is the guy doing that on this list. So he is my center fielder.
Okay. I got one more thing to look at before I give you my answer for center field.
It's fine.
I'm getting it up right now.
Yeah.
TJ.
Okay. Congratulations to Brandon Nimmo, our center fielder for the month of June.
It's the right move. It's not easy
We have
to play.
standards here, people.
I mean,
It would have been easy. But we also didn't think, but we just gave him center field last month, Corbin Carroll.
but I think the percentages were different then.
It must have been.
I think he was on pace to play a lot more than half of his games at center field. Now he's not.
Now we have to decide between Corbin Carroll and Mookie Betts.
For posterity's sake, I think my vote is for Friedel, but Nimmo, congratulations.
Okay.
Thank you.
No sweep. I respect that. Sheesh.
And the numbers through June are crazy, but similar between these two guys.
Let me drive home the point again, because when you start going into center fielders in the National League, like Sawinski comes into play, Marsh, some other guys, and it's really hard to play center field. So that's why the games played became the deciding stat for me. I think 80 starts in center field, or 79 starts, 80 games for Nimmo. So that of itself is very impressive. So now I have to pick between Corbin Carroll and Mookie Betts, you're telling me? No Juan Soto, no Tatis, no Lane Thomas.
There's an argument to be made for
arguments.
Juan Soto because 921 OPS for Soto, 923 for Mookie Betts, 925 for Corbin Carroll. Good luck with that.
Jesus.
Soto
I
and
think
Mookie have same plate appearances.
I think defensively, you know who's better in that situation, but the B-War likes Soto. F-War likes the other guys. To me, it's between those two guys, Betts and Carroll. Fernando Tatis Jr. like coming on pretty dang strong, to be honest with you. How good defensively he is out there, but he's not in my conversation for this month. So it's between Carroll and Mookie.
Padres he closes a game threshold in a month.
I have a Mookie Carroll pick.
Okay. Go for it. I have mine too.
I think I have mine.
Say it on 3.
Okay.
3, 2, 1. Corbin Carroll.
Corbin Carroll. Oh.
OPSS plus, dude. 24. Yeah. He's doing everything offensively Mookie is doing. 24 stolen bases to 7.
Here's the thing also, though. Like, I don't know if this hurts or helps Mookie's case, but, like, he might be playing shortstop for the Dodgers.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Corbin Carroll's yelling at Mookie saying, I'm playing center, Pop.
Like, Mookie's – I want to, like, give him credit for what he's been able to do. I want to look at his game logs right now because now this year he's played 11 games at shortstop, 17 games at second base, 53 games in right field. So he qualifies for outfield, but the fact that he plays second base and shortstop too is nuts to me, and it actually makes me want to change my freaking pick.
Do you want to? UTIL's coming.
It doesn't matter. I know that. Utility.
I think I'm seeing enough that I like.
We stay with Corbin Carroll. We stay with Corbin Carroll. Bam. We do it. Congratulations to our 3 outfielders. Who is it again? Acuna, Carroll, and our center fielder was Nimmo.
Yes.
Gosh, can you please make that very apparent on our sheet that we put out on social media that, like, we have to have a center fielder that plays?
No.
We
want the engagement. We need the comments.
Oh my gosh, dude, just firing us. Okay, so then let's just go to UTIL.
Let's
because if we're saying, and he should be included in this because he is moving around. He is playing the middle infield positions, and he's playing outfield. I think Mookie Betts wins in a landslide. It's not even close. Congratulations, Mookie Betts on winning utility. And does that keep him in for a daisy this year?
It's misshapen, but it's
no. He missed April.
He missed April. Which honestly,
James Outman took it.
Makes me feel a little better about everything. Ha-Seong Kim just got fucked a little bit. He's been awesome.
Gosh, that's so true.
He's been awesome, but I mean, Trev, you made an incredible point. Mookie Betts has a 923 OPS, a 553 slugging, playing middle infield and one of the higher caliber right fields you can play. That should not be ignored. That Ha-Seong Kim, although he's been awesome and incredible defensively up the middle, which gives him really good WAR, he's been hitting well, a 757 OPS, but a difference between a 923 OPS hitter and a 757 OPS hitter, it's really not. It's really not. You take the 923 every time.
Mookie Betts utility player is like fucking Shohei winning the AL MVP. It's going to happen every year.
They had him doing this.
Dodgers?
He needs shortstop, dog. And Mookie's like, I'll do it.
Mookie Betts is playing shortstop for the Dodgers? What year is it?
Okay.
We need a DH, dude. I feel like I just got beat up. Soler just got invited to the All-Star team. JD Martinez mashes. McCutcheon's been great. Is his on base around 4 Bills? Are you kidding me?
Lourdes Gurriel Jr., too much outfield.
There's so many outfielders, dude. What is this? Soto and Tatis? Castellanos is an all-star.
They don't even get to be like invited to the convo.
You have a DH, I feel like I just got beat up.
I'm looking to see how much McCutcheon's DH'd. Okay.
Yeah,
love
I think
Kutch.
of this group of 4, I would assume he's DH'd.
Okay, he's
the fewest
DH'd. He's
games,
DH'd. He's DH'd. Him and JD Martinez are DHing.
They are DHing.
I mean, so
DHing,
is Soler,
DHing.
I think, right? Soler don't play defense. Oh, he snuck
he's
out
got
to right field 20 games. Good for you, Jorge.
He's got a big arm.
But still, majority DH.
60 DH
Qualifies
games.
for DH, absolutely.
Okay, so now we're talking. We got 3 real deal players here. I mean, JD is outslugging everybody. His OPS is higher than everybody. The homers are, behind Soler by 3, but he's got more ribbies than everybody. He's got more doubles than everybody. He's got more triples than everybody. I think I'm leaning JD here for my DH. I love the 400 OBP. He's only got a 305 OBP. Gosh, that changes my mind a little bit. But what does it matter if you're slugging better?
Slugging substantially better.
Freak, this is tough.
The OP. I kind of want to split the gap with Soler.
Yeah, I mean, look, F4 has him at 1.6, him and McCutcheon at 1.6, and JD Martinez is at 1.1.
Are they being helped by a couple defensive opportunities? I'd assume McCutcheon can't be.
9 stolen bases for Kutch.
Huh.
JD's got a real low walk percentage and a real high strikeout percentage.
Oh.
I was going to go him, but now I'm thinking maybe there's a different route here.
Trev, retweet.
Okay, I got my guy.
I think I've decided.
I'm going Jorge Soler.
That's not what I decided.
And you, Poppy? You can't have this dead air
Right
on the
now.
podcast, bro. Let's go. Let's say something.
We edited it out. Sorry, Beebs.
Right now I'm on Kutch.
Sorry, Beebs.
Oh, he's on Kutch, and I'm on Soler. So
go.
now
It's crazy that it's not JD. It's crazy that it's not Kutch. It's Jorge Soler.
I'm comfortable with
Because that OBP from JD, that's crazy. I can't believe it's down there. McCutcheon, the on-base percentage is awesome, but he's got 10 homers to Soler's 22?
That's a lot.
We've got players on this All-JM team that have 12 homers. That's the gap from McCutcheon to Soler.
Soler also 2 more doubles.
Jorge Soler, All-JM, first time.
how's he look in the shower?
Yes. Same answer as before.
And that brings us to our last decision here. And Zach Gallen has 1 April. He has 1 May. Has he done enough for you to keep his Silver Daisy hopes going?
Fuck. Yes and no.
He isn't a wrong answer.
This is awful, man. What? That Stroman.
So some of the choices we have here: Bryce Elder sitting with a 2.44, Gallons at a 3.02, Kershaw's at a 2.55, Steele and Stroman for the freaking Cubs 2.43, 2.47 respectively. Some really good starting pitching coming out of the National League. This is going to be a tough one for me because Gallen is not running away with it. He does have the most innings pitched through June. The FIP he has better FIP than any of the other pitchers, which means something, means a lot, to be honest with you. But some of the other guys are right there with them. This is going to be a difficult decision.
Clayton Kershaw.
Justin Steele is compared to the other 4 guys behind on innings. So that might have him.
I do think
out
that's
in my head.
significant.
It's a significant number.
Zach Gallen having.
But what's
20
innings per start though? Because he only has 15 starts, so it's not his fault.
Yes.
I think there was an
Yes
IL
and
in
no.
there.
20 innings is significant to a team in a bullpen. That I do love ERA at the end of the day. Clayton Kershaw.
That's your vote, huh?
That's my current vote.
He's got the highest Ks per 9. Gosh, man. These guys are all so close right now. I don't want to just choose that Gallen to keep his Silver Daisy hopes alive. Sip loves him
behind the others.
3 ERA, tough to look at.
Shut up.
302.
You know my new school brain. ERA.
ERA doesn't matter.
Gross. Give me the snap that everyone talks about. Beavers, what do you got? Do I even need to make a decision here?
You're gonna have to make a decision because for me,
okay, I like that.
Like where the innings pitched, ERA, WHIP, like where that converges. I can't shake Marcus Stroman and what he's been doing this year with the Cubs. I've been praising a lot of guys along the way here on strikeouts and walk rates, and his are I suppose technically the worst of this group. But innings pitched,
that's a wild card.
He's not allowing any. He's not allowing any hits. Not allowing homers. The innings are there.
Okay.
You're going Bryce Elder.
I'm going Clayton Kershaw. He's going to get the pedal for this month. The numbers are all very, very close. Couple things I'm looking at, and maybe I shouldn't be looking at this, but just it's Clayton Kershaw. The career longevity has been great. He is, and this is out of our brain, he is hurt right now. But he's been pitching so well, and he's had to keep that Dodgers rotation afloat, man. Like when everyone's getting injured, he's got a bunch of young guys coming up. He's been so consistent when they needed him to be. So Zach Gallen, you're close. Bryce Elder, you're close. Steele and Stroman, look out, dude.
Cubbies.
I'm going Clayton Kershaw here.
If they ever figure it out, Steele and Stroman.
Those guys 1-2 is nuts.
A crazy ending to the All JM team.
You want to know something crazier?
Yes.
This is Clayton Kershaw's first pedal.
It's about damn time. About damn time the sports media got something right.
That's a tough one right there.
All JM team, June.
Tell us why you like our list so much. That's what you'll do.
Chick sucks.
Get
Scream
mad.
in the comments. Retweet the graphic.
Get angry.
You guys just ruined my day, but it's okay. I love being here with you.
You got great teeth. There's your update. Need a dentist to tell you that? Lost more.